The janitor's hand trembled as he leaned close to my ear. "There's a drug in your drink." I froze. My fiancée stood across the room, laughing with guests at our engagement party. The same woman I'd planned to marry in 3 weeks. The same woman who had no idea I was about to expose everything. My name is Marcus Chen, and 24 hours ago, I was the happiest man alive. I run a tech company worth $3 billion. I had a penthouse in Manhattan, and I was engaged to the most beautiful woman I'd ever met. Catherine Morrison. Long blonde hair, green eyes that could stop traffic, and a smile that made investors write checks without reading contracts. But here's what nobody tells you about being rich. People don't love you. They love what you can give them. And I was about to learn that lesson in the worst way possible. It started 3 months before our engagement party. Small things. Things I should have noticed but didn't, because I was too busy being in love like an idiot. Catherine's phone would buzz at odd hours. 2 in the morning. 4 in the morning. She'd always say it was her sister having relationship problems. Her sister, who apparently had a new crisis every single night. I believed her because why wouldn't I? She was going to be my wife. Then there were the credit card statements. I'm not the type to check what my partner spends. Money isn't real to me anymore at a certain point. It's just numbers moving around. But my accountant flagged something. $70,000 at a jewelry store I'd never heard of. When I asked Catherine about it, she said she bought a gift for her mother's birthday. I met her mother. She wore a $15 watch from Target and seemed perfectly happy with it. The third thing was her friend group. Before we got engaged, Catherine had normal friends, people she went to college with, people who worked regular jobs and complained about their bosses. But after I put that ring on her finger, suddenly she had a whole new set of friends, rich friends. Friends who drove cars that cost more than houses. Friends who summered in the Hamptons and wintered in Aspen. Friends who looked at me like I was an ATM machine wearing a suit. I pushed all of this down, ignored it, because I loved her. Or at least I thought I did. The engagement party was my idea. I wanted something big. Catherine said we should keep it small, just close friends and family. But I insisted. I rented out the entire top floor of the Mandarin Oriental. 200 guests. A live band. Champagne that cost more per bottle than most people's car payments. Ice sculptures. A chocolate fountain. The works. Catherine seemed nervous all week leading up to it. She kept asking if we could postpone. Said she had a cold coming on. Said Mercury was in retrograde, and it wasn't a good time for big events. I laughed it off. Thought she was just stressed about wedding planning. The night of the party, she looked perfect. Wore a white dress that probably cost 30 grand. Diamonds around her neck that I'd bought her for our 6-month anniversary. Her makeup was flawless. But her hands wouldn't stop shaking. I noticed that. Asked if she was okay. She said she was just emotional. Happy tears, she called them. The party started at 7. By 8, the place was packed. My business partners were there. My investors. My college friends. Catherine's family. Her new rich friends. Everyone drinking, laughing, celebrating our love. Or what I thought was our love. I was talking to one of my investors about a new acquisition when I saw him. An older guy, maybe 60, wearing an expensive suit, but something about him seemed off. He wasn't mingling, just standing in the corner watching Catherine, and she kept glancing at him. Quick looks, the kind you make when you're trying not to be obvious about looking at someone. I excused myself from the conversation and started walking toward her. That's when the janitor appeared. He wasn't supposed to be there. The party was private. No hotel staff, except the catering team we'd hired. But there he was. Old guy, maybe 70. Brown uniform, pushing a cleaning cart. He made eye contact with me, and something in his expression made my blood run cold. He walked past me and dropped a napkin. I bent down to pick it up, being polite. That's when he leaned in close. "There's a drug in your drink," he whispered. "The woman you're about to marry put it there. Don't drink it. And don't let her know that you know." Then he walked away, just like that. Disappeared into the crowd before I could even process what he'd said. I stood there holding the napkin. My drink was on a table 10 feet away. Champagne. I'd taken a few sips earlier, but then put it down to talk to people. Catherine had been standing near it. I'd seen her there. Hadn't thought anything of it. My first instinct was to think the old man was crazy. Some random person who snuck into the party. But something about the way he said it. The look in his eyes. He wasn't crazy. He was terrified. I walked back to my drink. Picked it up. Looked at it. It looked normal. Smelled normal. Catherine was across the room now, talking to that older man in the corner. They were standing close. Too close. She touched his arm. Laughed at something he said. My heart was pounding. I set the drink back down. I needed to think. Needed to figure out what was happening. I went to the bathroom. Locked myself in a stall. Pulled out my phone. Started searching for the janitor's face in my memory. Something about him seemed familiar. Then it hit me. I'd seen him before. 6 months ago. At a restaurant. Catherine and I were having dinner, and I'd seen an old man being escorted out by security. He'd been yelling something about his daughter. About someone named Catherine Morrison. I searched Catherine's name plus father on my phone. Nothing came up. She'd always told me her father died when she was young. Car accident. She didn't like to talk about it. But what if she'd lied? I went back to the party. Found Catherine, smiled, kissed her cheek. Having fun? I asked. Yes, she said. But her smile didn't reach her eyes. Who was that you were talking to? Just investors, I said. Boring business stuff. Who's your friend? I nodded toward the older man. Her face went pale. Just for a second. Then she recovered. That's Richard. He's a friend of my mother's. From church. Catherine's mother didn't go to church. I knew that for a fact. She'd told me she was an atheist at our first family dinner. Cool, I said. I'm going to get another drink. No, she said quickly. Too quickly. I mean, you already have one, remember? On the table over there. She pointed to my champagne glass. The one the janitor had warned me about. Right, I said. Thanks, babe. I walked over to the drink. Picked it up, pretended to take a sip, but didn't let any liquid touch my lips. Catherine was watching me. So was Richard. They both relaxed when they thought I'd drunk it. That's when I knew. The janitor was telling the truth. I set the drink down and walked toward the exit. Told people I needed to take a business call. Went down to the lobby. Found a security guard. Told him there was an old man in a janitor's uniform who wasn't supposed to be at my party. Asked if he could help me find him. The security guard looked confused. Sir, we didn't send any janitorial staff to your floor tonight. Your event coordinator specifically requested no interruptions. I know what I saw, I said. We checked the security footage. Took 20 minutes. Finally found him. The old man entering the building at 6:45. He didn't use the main entrance. Came in through a service door. Knew exactly where he was going. Took the service elevator straight to my floor. Do you know this man? The security guard asked. No, I said. But I'm going to find out. I went back upstairs. The party was in full swing. Catherine was dancing now. Looked relaxed, happy. Like she didn't have a care in the world. Like she hadn't just tried to drug her fiancé. I pulled out my phone. Called my head of security. His name is James, and he used to work for the FBI. If anyone could track down the janitor, it was him. I need you to find someone, I said. I described the old man. Sent him screenshots from the security footage. I need to know who he is. And I need to know in the next hour. James didn't ask questions. That's why I pay him so much. He just said, on it. I went back to the party. Acted normal, smiled, shook hands. Made toasts. All while my mind was racing. Catherine came up to me at one point. Are you okay? You seem distracted. Just thinking about how lucky I am, I said. Kissed her forehead. She smiled. That beautiful smile that had made me fall in love with her in the first place. Except now all I could see was the lie behind it. 40 minutes later, my phone buzzed. James, I excused myself. Went to a quiet corner. His name is Robert Morrison, James said. Catherine's father. He's not dead. He's very much alive. Spent 15 years in prison for fraud. Got out 2 years ago. Been trying to reconnect with his daughter ever since. She's been ignoring him. My stomach dropped. What kind of fraud? Marriage fraud. He would romance wealthy women, marry them, drug them, and drain their bank accounts. Did it to 4 different women before he got caught. He's been trying to warn people that his daughter learned everything from him. That she's been running the same game. I felt like I was going to be sick. Has she done this before? 3 times that we can confirm. 3 wealthy men in the past 5 years. All of them ended up drugged at parties or events. All of them woke up with their accounts emptied. All of them too embarrassed to press charges because it meant admitting they'd been conned. She's good, Marcus. Really good. I hung up, stood there in the corner. 200 people celebrating my engagement to a woman who was planning to rob me. Maybe worse than rob me. What was in that drink? What would have happened if I'd actually consumed it? I thought about calling the police. But then what? I had no proof. The drink was still sitting on a table somewhere. By now it could be anywhere. Catherine could claim I was paranoid, that I was crazy, that the stress of the wedding was getting to me. She'd cry, play the victim, and everyone would believe her because she was beautiful and charming, and who would suspect someone like her? No, I needed to catch her in the act, needed her to confess, needed witnesses. I went back to the party, found the microphone. The band had just finished a song. Perfect timing. Can I have everyone's attention? I said. My voice boomed through the speakers. The room went quiet. Everyone turned to look at me, including Catherine. She smiled, thought I was about to make another romantic toast. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, I said. It means the world to me and Catherine that you're here to celebrate our love. Catherine was blushing now, loving the attention. You know, when I met Catherine 2 years ago, I thought I was the luckiest man alive. This beautiful woman, smart, funny, everything I'd ever wanted. And when I proposed 6 months ago, she said yes without hesitation. I thought that meant she loved me. Catherine's smile faltered, just slightly. She could sense something was wrong. But tonight something interesting happened, I continued. An old man came up to me, told me there was a drug in my drink, told me my fiancée put it there. Crazy, right? I mean, who would believe something like that? The room was silent now. You could hear a pin drop. Catherine's face had gone completely white. At first I thought he was insane, I said. But then I did some research, found out some interesting things. For example, did you all know that Catherine's father isn't actually dead? That he spent 15 years in prison for drugging and robbing wealthy women? That he's been trying to warn people that his daughter learned the family business? Catherine started backing toward the exit, but I'd positioned my security team there earlier. They blocked her path. And did you know, I continued, that Catherine has done this before? 3 times, 3 wealthy men who all mysteriously got drugged at events, who all woke up with empty bank accounts, who were all too embarrassed to report it. Marcus, stop, Catherine said. Her voice was shaking. You're being ridiculous. You're stressed. The wedding planning has been too much. Then drink it, I said. I walked over to where my champagne glass still sat, picked it up, held it out to her. If there's nothing in it, you'll be fine. Drink it right now, in front of everyone. She stared at the glass, then at me, then at the 200 guests watching this unfold. I'm not going to play your games, she said. Drink it, I repeated. Prove me wrong. Prove you love me. Prove you're not a con artist like your father. Tears started rolling down her face. Marcus, please, let's talk about this in private. Drink the champagne, Catherine. She looked at Richard, the older man in the corner. He was slowly moving toward the exit. That's when I realized who he was, her accomplice. Probably had been helping her case targets. Had been at that restaurant 6 months ago. Had been part of the plan all along. James, I called out. Don't let that man leave. My security team grabbed Richard. He didn't even struggle. Just smiled, like he was proud of what they'd done. Catherine finally broke. Fine, you want the truth? Yes, I was going to drug you. Yes, I was going to take your money. Yes, I've done it before. And you know what? You deserved it. All of you rich guys are the same. You think you can buy love. You think a nice dinner and an expensive ring mean something. It doesn't. You're all just marks. Just wallets with legs. The room erupted. People gasping. Catherine's mother started crying. My business partners looked horrified. Catherine's new rich friends were filming everything on their phones. Security is already calling the police, I said. You'll probably want to get a lawyer. Catherine lunged at me. Actually tried to attack me. Security grabbed her before she could reach me. She was screaming now, cursing, saying things I won't repeat. The woman I'd loved. The woman I'd planned to spend my life with. Gone. Replaced by this angry, desperate stranger. The police arrived 15 minutes later, arrested both Catherine and Richard, took statements from everyone at the party, took the champagne glass as evidence. Turns out it had enough sedative in it to knock me out for 12 hours. More than enough time for her to drain every account I had. After they took her away, I found Robert Morrison, Catherine's real father, the janitor. He was waiting in the lobby. "Thank you," I said. "If you hadn't warned me—" "She's my daughter," he said. His eyes were wet. "I taught her everything, every trick, every lie." When I got out of prison, I tried to make amends, tried to get her to stop, but she wouldn't listen. Said I was weak for getting caught. Said she was better than me. He paused. "I've been following her for months, trying to warn her targets. You're the first one who actually listened. Why didn't you just go to the police? No evidence. Just the ex-con's word against a beautiful woman. Who would believe me?" He looked at me. "I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry about my daughter. I'm sorry for everything." Then he left. Just walked out into the New York night. I never saw him again. That was 6 months ago. Catherine is currently awaiting trial. Turns out once the first arrest happened, her other victims came forward. She's looking at 20 years minimum. Richard got 15. Her mother claimed she had no idea what her daughter was doing. The investigation is still ongoing. The engagement party footage went viral. Someone leaked it online, got 50 million views in a week. I became known as the billionaire who exposed his fiancée. People made memes, TikToks, YouTube videos analyzing every detail. It was humiliating, but also freeing in a way. I learned some hard lessons. Money doesn't protect you from being hurt. Love can be faked. Trust should be earned, not given freely. And sometimes the people trying to warn you are the ones you should listen to. I sold my penthouse. Too many memories. Bought a smaller place in Brooklyn. Started going to therapy. Stopped dating for a while. Focused on my company, on my real friends, on the people who actually cared about me before I had money. A few weeks ago I got a letter from prison, from Catherine. She said she was sorry. Said she actually did love me. Said the plan changed when she started having real feelings. Said she tried to back out, but Richard convinced her to go through with it. Said if I could find it in my heart to forgive her, maybe we could try again when she gets out. I burned the letter. Didn't even finish reading it. Because I know what she is now. A liar, a con artist. Someone who sees people as transactions instead of human beings. And no amount of sorry can change that. But I do think about Robert Morrison sometimes. The father who tried to save me from his daughter. Who spent his whole life making terrible choices, but in the end did one good thing. I hired a private investigator to find him. Wanted to thank him properly. Maybe help him out financially. But he disappeared. No forwarding address. No phone number, just gone. Like a ghost who showed up exactly when I needed him, and then vanished. I still don't know if I believe in fate or divine intervention or whatever you want to call it. But I do know this. If that janitor hadn't warned me, I'd be broke right now. Or worse, maybe dead. Catherine had enough sedative in that drink to stop my heart if she'd miscalculated the dose, and I don't think she would have cared. I was just another mark to her. Another wallet with legs. These days I'm more careful. I make people sign prenups. I do background checks. I don't ignore red flags. And I never ever accept a drink from someone unless I've watched it being poured from start to finish. Some people say I'm paranoid now. That Catherine broke me. That I'll never be able to trust anyone again. Maybe they're right. But you know what? I'd rather be paranoid and safe than trusting and robbed. Or drugged. Or dead. The company is doing well. We just hit 4 billion in valuation. I'm dating someone new. She's a teacher. Makes 40,000 a year. Has student loans. Drives a Honda Civic with a broken air conditioner. She doesn't want anything from me except my time and my honesty. We're taking it slow. Very slow. And that's exactly how I want it. Sometimes late at night I wonder what would have happened if I'd drunk that champagne. If the janitor hadn't showed up. If I'd married Catherine. Would she have eventually loved me? Would the real feelings she claimed to have developed actually grown into something genuine? Or was it all just part of the con? Another lie stacked on top of 100 other lies? I'll never know. And maybe that's okay. Maybe some questions don't need answers. Maybe it's enough to know that I escaped. That I'm still here. That I still have my money and my company and my life. But I'll tell you this. Every time I go to a party now, I look for the janitors. The people nobody else notices. The invisible ones. Because sometimes those are the people who save your life. Sometimes the person in the corner with the cleaning cart knows more than the person in the designer dress. Sometimes the truth comes from the most unexpected places. And if you're reading this, if you're someone who's about to marry into money, or marry someone with money, do me a favor. Pay attention to the red flags. Check the backgrounds. Ask the hard questions. Don't ignore your gut when it tells you something is wrong, because love should never make you feel uneasy. Real love doesn't come with secrets. Real love doesn't hide credit card statements or have mysterious friends or get nervous about background checks. Real love is honest, even when honesty is hard, even when honesty is uncomfortable, even when honesty means admitting that the person you thought was perfect is actually deeply flawed. I didn't get my fairy tale ending. Catherine isn't my happily ever after. But I got something better. I got the truth. And in a world full of beautiful lies, the truth is worth more than any diamond ring. The teacher I'm dating asked me last week why I keep looking at janitors everywhere we go. I laughed it off. Said it was just a weird habit. But the real reason, I'm looking for Robert Morrison, the man who saved my life, the reformed con artist who became an unlikely hero, the father who couldn't save his daughter but could save his daughter's victim. If you're out there, Robert, if you ever read this or hear about it, I want you to know something. You're a better man than you think you are. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you hurt people. Yes, you taught your daughter the wrong lessons. But in the end, you did the right thing. You warned me. You saved me. And I'll spend the rest of my life grateful for that. As for Catherine, I hope prison changes her. I hope she gets therapy. I hope she learns that people aren't transactions. That love isn't something you fake to gain access to bank accounts. That there's more to life than money and designer clothes and fooling rich guys at engagement parties. But I'm not holding my breath. Some people are too broken to fix. Some people are exactly who they appear to be once you see past the mask. I'm not bitter anymore. I was for a while angry, hurt, felt stupid for not seeing the signs earlier. But therapy helped. Time helped. And my new girlfriend helped. She reminds me that not everyone is Catherine, that good people exist. That trust can be rebuilt just slowly and carefully. So here I am, 6 months after the worst night of my life. 6 months after my engagement party became a crime scene. 6 months after I learned that the woman I loved was planning to drug and rob me. And you know what? I'm okay. Better than okay. I'm free. Free from the lies. Free from the manipulation. Free from a future that would have destroyed me. All because an old janitor whispered a warning in my ear. All because I listened to that warning instead of dismissing it. All because I chose to investigate instead of ignore. If this story made you think twice about who you trust, hit subscribe.